Information Officer with the Hernando County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to introduce to you Sheriff Al Meanheis, who is going to speak with you about the incidences on Al Road.
Thank you, Wendy. First of all, let me apologize for running a little late. We're dealing with organizations outside of our control and trying to make everything come together. It took a couple extra minutes. So I guess I kind of want to start out by going back in time, back to September 16th, late in the evening. Patrol deputies were called to the house of Miss Joey Lynn Hattenbrunn, and there we found the victim, who later passed away from her injuries, Joey. Her husband had called and said that she had been beaten. Obviously, we didn't know at that time whether it was a random act, whether it was some sort of robbery was the motive, or obviously there's always a possibility of a domestic type dispute.
Sure, we're good.
Okay. She, as I said, she was taken to a local hospital and she died of her injuries. During the course of the investigation, we developed a couple persons of interest. But at the end of last week, one particular person kind of really came to the forefront, and that was Mr. Brett Douglas Hattenbrunn. And that is actually the victim's father-in-law, her husband's father. And as I said, we developed him as a suspect, and also developed enough information to get a search warrant on his house. Yesterday, we went to his house to actually execute that search warrant, as many of you know, and Mr. Hattenbrunn, Brett, told us that he was in the process of changing or getting some clothes on, and to wait a couple seconds. The deputies continued to knock on the door. When he did open the door, they were met with a Molotov cocktail, which they threw at the feet of Sergeant Phil Lakin. He's one of my major crimes sergeants, and it erupted in flame, and we're very fortunate that he was not burned. Mr. Hattenbrunn then produced a nail gun, a large nail gun, and stuck the muzzle of that out of the door and started shooting at the deputies. As we said yesterday, Deputy or Detective Falkingham returned fire, hitting Mr. Hattenbrunn at least once. He was taken to the hospital. He was, both prior to the search warrant and after yesterday's incident, he was somewhat cooperative. And because he was cooperative, we were concerned that he might get some media reports about the fact that he was our prime suspect. We didn't want to have anything interfere with the questioning, so that's why we were being a little tight-lipped about his involvement in the murder, or the fact that we suspected that. But late yesterday afternoon and through the night, detectives were questioning him, and he has subsequently admitted to the murder. He's given us a substantial amount of information about what occurred. We do believe the motive was because of marital problems between his son and his daughter-in-law, and that's what prompted the murder. He is, at this moment, we literally just within the last few minutes, got a warrant signed for first-degree murder as well as robbery, because some items were taken from the deceased. And that's where we stand now. He will be charged. He's actually on his way back to Hernando County from the hospital, and he will, in addition to the charges from yesterday, he will be charged with first-degree murder and robbery. So I'll go ahead and answer a couple questions if I can. Obviously, things are still transpiring quickly, and I'll go ahead and answer them if I'm able to.
What did he steal from?
I'm sorry?
What did he steal from?
He stole a couple items from her in an attempt to make it look like a robbery.
Did he go over there with intentions of hurting her, or to console her, or advise her, and then things get turned ugly?
He definitely went there with the intentions of confronting her, and that's all I'm ready to release right now. But he was definitely going there to confront her about the issues that he had with her, mainly relating to the marital problems.
I know the neighborhood out there has been a little freaked out. It's probably good news for them that someone's been, I mean, you've pinned this on somebody and maybe they can rest a little easier.
Absolutely, and I want to tell you that I do struggle with that as sheriff. One of the things we want to do is, try to allay their fears when we have somebody identified as a person of interest. But at the same time, if that person is reported as a person of interest and they're a little bit cooperative, it can interfere with that. So we have to forego the initial quelling of fears to get the ultimate prize, which is taking this person off the street.
Good feeling, I mean, it's gotta be good that this is getting,
Absolutely. I mean,
moving along.
I got to give a lot of credit to my detectives for the last week and a half, for almost 2 weeks. They've been working practically nonstop on this, pretty much all night. And unfortunately, it's not even near completed yet. There's still evidence that they have to look for to kind of verify some of this stuff. So it's far from being closed, but we're definitely over the biggest hurdle.
Have you identified the murder weapon yet?
It was, we have not got it in our possession, but I will tell you it was a blunt instrument, and she was the.
What are the charges, including what he was charged with yesterday?
He's charged with yesterday 5 counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, 3 counts of throwing the incendiary device with the intent to harm a person, and then today he's being charged with first-degree murder as well as robbery.
Did he say why he attacked the deputies?
Why he attacked the deputies? We believe that it was a typical suicide by cop situation. I think he wanted us to take his life. Why, you mean why he attacked the deputies originally, correct? Yesterday, is that what the question was?
Right.
Right, yes.
Did he say that?
He definitely alluded to that, definitely.
Was he intoxicated the night of the murder?
I don't have that information.
So specifically, he wanted the deputies to kill him.
That's correct, suicide, typical suicide by cop. He alluded to the fact that he wished, he made a couple statements that he had wished that we had taken his life. And, again, based on his actions, that fits with what he did.
So he just happened to have these Molotov cocktails in
Well, that's the thing, he definitely knew we were coming back. I don't think he knew specifically where we were, but we had talked to him. There were some inconsistencies, and that's what developed him as a suspect. And so he knew that we knew that there was something amiss. He was being cooperative, but at the same time, there was enough inconsistencies that he knew that we were very suspicious of him. And he knew we were going to be back, either to question him some more or to arrest him. So that he was somewhat prepared, not specifically for that moment, but he was not surprised to see law enforcement at his door.
Was he